A lot of you have been asking for defending videos, so in this video we are going over 5 defending practices you must learn. That's coming up next. Hey guys, it's Dave here from SimplySoccer, where we are helping you improve your game and stand out on the pitch, and we do that by releasing weekly soccer tip, technique, and training videos. In fact, at the moment we're doing it almost daily, so if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and that bell icon. So I don't do too many defending videos on this channel, but I decided it was time for another one. So I want to give you 5 things that you should be practicing very often and keep in mind so that you become a better defender, whether you play in a defensive position or you just want to become better at defending and you play in a different position. The first thing is learning how to contain an attacker. A lot of defenders, the biggest mistake they make is they go in every single time trying to win the ball when the situation doesn't call for it. Sometimes you will need to do that, but more often than not, containing the attacker, making it so he can't really progress that far forward so that reinforcements can come help you out, so that your teammates can get back into position and the open space gets closed up, is essential. Another thing you want to be trying to do when you're containing your opponent is show them onto their weak side or show them into an area that's disadvantageous for them, that makes it more likely that they have to pass the ball off or that they're going to lose the ball. Yes, there are going to be times when you do go in, when you try and win the ball, but more times than not, you want to be able to effectively contain them so that you can wait for backup and to delay them as long as possible. That being said, the second thing is getting good at your tackling. Now, tackling has to do with timing and anticipation along with the actual technique of tackling. A lot of players will mindlessly tackle, and this is where sloppy fouls are given away, or where you lash in for the ball and the attacker just pushes it by you and suddenly you're eating their dust, so to speak. So you want to make sure you're working on your tackling often. I am not just talking about your slide tackling and last ditch tackling. That of course is also important, but I'm talking about your timing when going in on the tackle. I'm talking about knowing when to go in, anticipate a pass, anticipate a move, and all of that stuff as well. Knowing how to be one step ahead of the attacker. By getting good at this, it is going to make you a much more difficult defender to beat. And if you're just smart about the way you tackle and you work on this often, which you can do by playing people one-on-one, for example, work on your one-on-one situations when you are with a friend or a teammate. In your team training, work on being able to anticipate certain passes and certain plays. Watch players like Virgil van Dijk, who's excellent at this, by the way. But once you get that out of the way, once you are really good at your tackling and the other thing, containing, you'll know which to use in which situation, and you're going to be really hard to beat. Number 3, and this one is one of the most important ones out of all of these, and it's positional discipline. Where do you need to be in different situations? If you're leaving a huge gap in the back line because you're out of position, you're just making the attacker's job easy. This does not just mean knowing where you need to be in general. For example, if you're a center back, knowing what space you need to be in. You need to know how to cover one of your teammates. You need to know what position or what space you need to be in to more easily intercept a ball. You need to know where to be just in case something happens. You need to know what each thing is based on the situation. Again, what I recommend you do to learn what this looks like is to watch the best at this. Players like Vincent Kompany and Virgil van Dijk are excellent at this, along with players like Mats Hummels. Watch these guys often and look at their anticipation. Look at the way they position themselves. Because half of defending is positional sense, knowing where you need to be. Because if you're where you need to be almost at all times, then you're going to make your job a lot easier. However, if you're out of position all the time, you're going to be struggling, you're going to make poor decisions, you're going to be, making last-ditch tackles you wouldn't need to make otherwise. So make sure you're working heavily on your positional discipline. Number 4 is another big one, and it's communication. Now, this applies more for the players who are actually playing at the back. But one of the advantages you have of playing, for example, center back, is you can see the whole pitch in front of you. And again, if you watch the best players, you will see them communicating with their midfielders and players ahead of them to make sure the defensive space is covered, to make sure that they are on their man. And this is something you want to be doing as well, because if your teammates are playing poorly defensively as well, this is going to make your job harder. So if you're someone who knows how to organize the defense, if you know that your teammate needs to be on that man or needs to be in that space or needs to watch out for that run, don't be shy. Tell them. Have great communication skills and leadership skills on the pitch. You know, a great center back is usually a leader. Again, we can keep going back to Virgil van Dijk because he's the man in the moment right now, but not only is he a fantastic world-class defender, he's also a leader. He communicates. He's like a general back there. And look at how much better Liverpool's defense has become just from that. So bring this into your own game, introduce this into your own game, and make sure you are communicating effectively with your teammates to really shore up that defense. Number 5 is one I give in a lot of these lists, and it's calmness. Nothing is more shaky and will give you a heart attack more than a defender that is always panicking, that is always making stupid mistakes. And if there's one place to not make mistakes, it's at the back. So really train yourself to be calm in those pressure situations. This is something that is trainable. I have a free 7-day confidence course. Another great way, and what we will go over in that course as well, is making sure you're putting yourself in these situations often for experience. But you really need to have that calmness and presence at the back, because if you're panicking as a center back, for example, I mean, how many times are you going to forget what position to be in? How many times are you going to clear it and completely shank it? How many times is a simple pass you're trying to play going to go to the wrong person? How many times when you go into tackle are you going to miss? Having that calmness of mind usually prevents all of this. And again, we can go back to the best center backs in the world. They rarely lose their head. So developing this calmness of mind, developing the ability to be calm in pressure situations, which a lot of the time it is at the back, making that last-ditch tackle in the penalty area, making sure that through ball doesn't get to the striker who will be in on goal. Those are pressure situations. But if you want to be a great defender, you have to learn how to not only cope with those, but to thrive and to show what you can do in those situations. Question of the day, guys, is which one of these practices do you need to work on the most? Let me know down in the comments, and I will try and give you some more tips and more advice if I have anything more. But when it comes to this stuff, guys, it actually is fairly simple. It's just about doing this stuff consistently. And if you do everything I've given you in this video consistently, you're going to find that you are a much more reliable, solid, and standout defender. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. I will, as always, have 2 others come up on the screen so you can continue to learn, to improve, and to stand out on the pitch. Make sure you check out the links I put in the description and in the comments down below. I've left some free resources for you so that you can continue to improve. Again, guys, thank you. Make sure you come back to the channel tomorrow for a brand new video, and I'll see you then.